Hello everyone, Adette here. So, as I mentioned in my previous video, I have yet to make a review about the Dream Island performance of Johnny's West. So, here's the video for it. So, sorry it took me a little longer than expected. So, I was able to finally watch the director's cut of the Dream Island performance of Johnny's West, which is included in the limited edition B of their latest single, Shukan Umaku Ikuyobi. I actually watched the concert when it streamed last August 1st. So for those who aren't familiar, what exactly is Johnny's Dream Island? So this was actually a concert or a series of shows of the Kansai Johnny's group. So both debuted groups such as Kan Johnny 8 and Johnny's West, as well as their juniors, had a series of shows. This was done to hype up the World Expo, which will be happening in Osaka in 2025. So since it's gonna be 5 years prior to the expo, I guess Johnny's wanted to hype it up a bit by making a series of performances. Since this is like a concert series of Kansai Johnny's, one can't expect the length that it will have the same length as the usual concerts of Johnny's groups. So for Dream Island for West, the concert lasted like 1.5 hours or a little over 1.5 hours, but it didn't reach like the 2+ hours that is a staple for Johnny's concerts. But I think it's not a loss per se, because it was really nice seeing Johnny's West go back to their roots in Osaka, particularly to perform in Shochikuza, which was their venue for their junior for the performances that they had as juniors. So I'm just really glad that the Kansai groups were given this opportunity to, just gather together and put up all these shows in Shochikuza and give the Kansai Johnny some kind of highlight, especially since if we're gonna be very honest about it, compared to their Kanto counterparts, they don't have as much exposure. So having this Dream Island performance was really just like a good way to like promote how good Kansai Johnnies are and how talented they are. For this one, I'll just like go through a bit. I won't talk too much about like technical things. I'm really not a technical person when it comes to like reviewing concerts. So I'll probably just like go along the flow, the concert flow, and then just comment on what struck me, what I found funny or interesting, etc. So there. The concert, or rather the director's cut in particular, also includes an audio commentary by the Johnny's Fest members. So it was interesting to watch it without the audio commentary, and the audio commentary just adds another layer to the concert experience, or at least the post-concert experience, because it lends, it gives information on what actually happened behind the scenes. Like the West members were able to like reminisce what happened. They were able to reminisce their junior years, etc. So yeah, so let's get started. So the opening, it was really interesting. Unfortunately, I did not follow West as during their junior years, but it was interesting to like just hear West through the years. So the opening sequence shows like the path from Namba Station of one of their subway lines all the way to Shochikuza. It made me reminisce personally. I've never been to Shochikuza, unfortunately, but I've been to Namba Station, I've been to the Tonbori, and just seeing like the path out to the Tonbori, it just made me so nostalgic, and I want to travel again. But I think it would be even more nostalgic for fans who have actually been to Shochikuza and who want to go back to the place. So the opening montage was like pretty interesting. And the first half of the concert, it's really a nostalgia fest, especially for those who have followed West from their early years, even from their pre-debut years, because it showcased songs not just from the early days of Johnny's West as a debuted group, but also from their junior years. So it was interesting to see them perform old songs but with a more mature feel, because well, they've grown up. The songs, I think, are actually more suited now for their particular age compared to when they sang it as junior. So I particularly, in this first half in particular, I cannot get my eyes off of Shige. Like, the costumes they wore, especially for their junior performances, they were actually costumes from previous concerts, but somehow seeing Shige in those, it just hit me so differently. I think it's because Shige is my favorite member, but at the same time, like, why are you so, you know, I just can't stop looking at him while I was watching the director's cut. Like, there was just something about Shige in that concert. I guess it was the thrill of being on stage once again. I really don't know, but either way, I really love the energy that he exuded for the concert, especially for the first half. So apart from all the nostalgia and, you know, especially for those who were fans of West from their earlier years, one of my personal favorites, and of course probably what most people would see as the highlight of the show, was the skit for the in the Japanese title is Nakamanchi no Monogatari, which translates to the Nakama family story. It's actually a sequel from the skit of their debut showcase 6 years ago. So it really tells the story of, as the title suggests, it tells the story of the Nakama family with Junta as the mother. Junta as the mother, Hama-chan as the oldest brother, Tomoko as the only female child, Tomoko meaning Kami-chan, and then there's Shige, and then Non-chan. And then Non-chan is the youngest boy, who's at this point in time in the play 6 years old elementary school student year. And there's Akito as the grandfather, and then Ryusei as the policeman, the neighborhood policeman. Now, in terms of the characterization, you would need some context from the play 6 years ago, which they provided, thankfully, in the before the start of this skit. But I think as a fan, it would be better, or rather, it would be more amusing to see if you actually know the contents of the play from 6 years back, because there was some like character development, I suppose, like how Tomoko grew up from this girl who was smitten with policeman Fuji to actually being in a relationship with said policeman, and you know, and all those other like things that would, you know, make for a more like informed viewing. But I think even without that, one can still appreciate the effort that went into this skit. If you understand enough Japanese, you'll be able to appreciate even more what they've been talking about. So for the skit, according to the audio commentary of the group, they were quite particular about certain things. Like, for example, Kami-chan was very particular about Tomoko's growth as a person. Like, he was apparently very particular about what she would be like 6 years from their debut, or rather from the first Nakamanchi story. And then so he was very particular about the wig, about the shoes, about the costume, like everything. Like, typical Kami-chan to be so serious about what he will portray on stage, and he just does Tomoko so well. Very pretty lady lady, I guess. Like, I can't hold a candle to how good Tomoko just looks. Even Shige had his very he was very particular about the party costume for his character, because I think his character's still in university, even though he should be, as Nakama Mama said, or rather as their mother, Junko said, he should be already someone who's working in the society, but he's still stuck wherever he is. So the highlight of the skit in particular, as with most Johnny's West skit, is the part where they make a joke or a gag on a certain topic, and then the bucket of a metal bucket like falls on them. It's similar. It's very much similar to the scenario 6 years ago, but I don't know. It's always still funny. Like, it's interesting that West can make material that has been used like 6 years ago still feel so, I don't know if fresh is the kind of word, but it's still so interesting to watch. Like, to see them kind of struggle with how they'll be able to do a particular joke, it's particularly amusing to me. I learned that, at least from the audio commentary, I learned that they normally go off script, and although that was the impression that I've had before when I watched their skits, I had no idea how much they deviated from the original script. So I think that's a testament to the kind of entertainers they are. They're able to, work with whatever's thrown at them and make something good out of it. So it's not just with skits, I think in a broader perspective, it really shows the kind of entertainment that West can offer. So after the skit, they sang Ejanaika. It was particularly interesting seeing them sing Ejanaika in their outfits, especially with Kami-chan. Like, since he was still dressed as Tomoko with a pencil skirt, trying to dance Ejanaika in that outfit, it really amused me. Yeah, it was, I think, but then again, they themselves say that Ejanaika is the song that they've sung in so many outfits and so many scenarios. If you remember West V, or if you watched West V, you can see them dancing to Ejanaika in their zodiac sign outfits. What the heck? But that's how they are as performers, and I really love them for that. So after, one other interesting thing for me in the first half was the Osaka Medley. So, of course, being, Kansai Johnnies and being nurtured by their performances in Shochikuza, of course, they would sing a series of songs that are all about Osaka. One thing that really struck me was some of them. Some sang Sukiyan in Osaka, but the ones who sang it were the members who were actually born in Hyogo Prefecture. So that was really interesting. It was a cute twist. In they ad-lib the middle part wherein they say what they like about Osaka, but then they add something like, "Oh, but I was born in Hyogo." The kind of humor, it sounds so corny. It may sound corny to some, but it's so simple, but it's just so funny and effective for me. So I just really enjoyed that part. And then after that, they have the MC. So in the audio commentary, this is they just reminisce a lot about MC styles and how especially for the younger members, how they kind of struggled with doing MCs when they were juniors, because it's not something they had experience in. Non-chan in particular was very young when he was a junior, still in middle school, or early high school. But and either way, it was an age where you wouldn't really be you wouldn't be able to think fast and just talk in front of an audience. So I think for them to come from those I guess shy, or those juniors who can't talk so well, into the Johnny's West that they are now, just pretty amazing to hear them talk about it. And yeah, so the MC, they also talk about how they were glad that they were able to see the fan messages as the show was going on, because for their show, the online functionality or the online room had a chat room in it as well, so people can send their messages to Johnny's West, and during the MC they were able to see it in real time. So I guess it's also a way for them to feel the fans' presence, and I'm really glad that it worked for them, and they were able to feel the love of the fans, even if it was just through the messages that were being sent. So next one would be, after the MC, they segue to the 7-member version of Machigat Chainai. It was interesting, and it was really, I think, refreshing to hear Shige be so honest about his feelings regarding the performance, because he was apparently so nervous. I mean, even as the MC was going on, he was already thinking about how he would do for Machigat Chainai, and I think it's very, not exactly rare, but for someone to be so candid about his feelings regarding his performance, it's something that I don't hear often. So I really appreciate just his being upfront during the audio commentary about what he was thinking about, and how he was so afraid of messing up. And even though he said that he did mess up, like I personally like that kind of raw feeling, especially when they're performing, because there's no it's not perfect, but it's very sincere. I guess I'm one of the people who would rather have an imperfect yet sincere performance, and have a perfect, like having that feeling of it's being contrived or etc. So I'm just glad that Shige was very upfront about that. And of course, that nervousness carried over to the birthday surprise for Non-chan, because when he played Happy Birthday on the piano, it was just a little slip up. But it's so cute, because, like, just to see him still be happy, just performing with his bandmates, and his bandmates of Machigat Chainai. So, for them, like, just be passionate suddenly, to just stand up and, just belt out their hearts when, with the song. It's just so endearing as a fan, especially, like, for them to really appreciate the songs that Shige put out. It's heartwarming. So, I was really glad, they chose to perform Machigat Chainai. I feel their sentiment of wanting to have the fans, like, see them perform it live. So I really hoping that they get to make that happen, and to some extent, especially with how things are going right now. I don't know how soon that will be, but I'm really hoping that they get their wish of seeing fans live in person sooner rather than later. So, after the birthday surprise with Non-chan and the cake, and, they segue to their new songs. So, when Dream Island was streaming, the Double Trouble concert was actually postponed. So, they weren't able to do the concert that time yet. So, instead of choosing Double Trouble songs to perform, apart from the lead single, what they did was, so they performed Double Trouble, Big Shot, and a lot of B-sides from Shoko, which was pretty interesting. Shoko's my favorite single, so seeing a lot of the B-sides performed on stage was something I was really grateful for and was really excited for. Sayonara ng Kaja, Owara Senai Kara. I really like the touch of the mirrors and Hama-chan's guitar playing. I think even in the audio commentary, the members say that it felt like a music video. Which really, yes, the production was something else. I think the Yusei was very particular about, like, the kind of mirrors and the kind of image that he wanted for the song, and I'm really glad that his vision was fulfilled through the performance, and it was really just interesting to see and hear. I really like the song, so to have them perform in front of those mirrors and then have the mirrors like close and then open up, it's just amazing. It was just amazing to see. I also, of course, there's also You Ain't Mine. Apparently, if I understood the audio commentary correctly, the choreography for You Ain't Mine was done in a day, and they also needed to practice this in just one day. So I might be getting the timelines wrong, but at least from what I understood, it had to be quite fast paced. So and they are upfront in admitting singing and dancing at the same time to that song was difficult. So although the audio in the DVD was already quite polished, of course, because it's not a live performance anymore, you can still kind of hear like parts that they needed to refine a bit in the event that they are going to perform that again in the future. But either way, it's a pretty good effort considering the tight timelines that they had for the song. So kudos to West. It was really entertaining to see the Shoko B-sides being performed. And then of course, they left Shoko for the last prior to the encore. And it was just, for me as a fan, it was touching to hear the voices of other fans in the chorus near the end of the song. I think it was Ryusei who said that he wanted to cry when he heard the fans' voices, and I can understand that because to have not seen fans for more than a year, I can see how it would take a toll on idols who really thrive on like fan presence to have good performances. And I think even just hearing their voices or seeing the uchiwa, which the staff set up all over Shochikuza, I think and I hope that it really made West feel that they weren't just performing on an empty stage room. I hope it made West feel that the fans were there, like watching them, even though they couldn't physically be there. And I'm also thankful to West that they were really able to use like the uchiwa to do their fan service, because it was just, how do I say, it is very West to do fan service like that, because they are still a group prior to COVID, when they still had their physical concerts. They were a group who actually went like seat to seat, not all seats, like as much seats as possible, like actually shaking the hands of fans. Like to me, it was unfathomable for a group to just be unafraid to like just go near fans and like do physical fans, like shaking your hand, like it was just very surprising to me. And then they did the encore, so Shoko was officially their last song, but of course, as typical for a concert, they did an encore. And it was cute for them to think of the idea of making the, what do you call this, I'm not sure for which concert that was, I'm not festival, but basically they have this each of them have this character like pillow that they used to like make conversations with while the fans were waiting for the encore. So it was really cute to like try to hear them like talk in like very cute voices with all those pillows. It was a cute touch. So for the last part, they did romantic, and then of course they ended the concert with Hama-chan's clap. So it was pretty cute. Kudos to Hama-chan for not getting tired of doing the clap for the end of like not just concerts, for like everything. So I'm just grateful for that. So, as a West fan, I'm really glad I got the limited edition B. It's a must see. I think I can't say it's like a quick history of West, but if you really want to know the kind of music that West has performed over the years, but you don't have enough time, the Johnny's Dream Island director Scott. It's a good way to introduce a non-fan to West, and just for them to see the kind of group that they are, at least in terms of their performances. I think the concert serves a lot of purposes. It can serve as an intro to West for a non-fan. It can serve as a an additional like not resource, additional like for example, for someone like me who has been a fan of West for less than 2 years. It was a good introduction for me for their older songs, and then for those who have been fans for a long time, it's really like a good dose of nostalgia, especially for their junior songs and their older songs. So I think it's really the kind of concert that can be appreciated by both fans and non-fans of West who are just like curious about the group, etc. So worthy purchase, well worth the money. If there's one thing though that I hope they were able to retain from the live concert, although I know this isn't usual to Johnny's DVDs or concert videos, but what I liked about the live version was that prior to the start of the song, the title was flashed on the screen. In my cases, I wasn't familiar with a lot of the other songs. The titles were really helpful. So that unfortunately did not carry over to the director's cut. So I'm hoping like in future concert footages or releases, it would be something to be considered. But other than that, I mean, I liked the editing. It's definitely meant for non-live viewing because the cuts are so smooth compared to how it was in the live streaming. For the sound, it's of course as expected, it's more polished. So compared to the live streaming, it's not as raw. If that's your thing, then this DVD is really for you. So I really hope that you found this video entertaining, even for just a bit. So if any of you have watched the director's cut of Johnny's West Dream Island performance, what did you think of their performance? Did it give you nostalgia? Did you learn anything new about Johnny's West after watching it? I'd love to see your comments on that. So please just leave them in the comment box below. I'll make sure to reply to each and every one of them. So and with that, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.